Well, hello, doll friends. This is Michael Canadas with the Grovian Doll Museum and Carmel Doll Shop. Last couple of years, there's been a lovely song called "You Can't Make Old Friends." So today in the Nunez collection, I wanted to share with you a doll that is an old friend of ours, which we have a long history with, going back to the time when we handled John Darcy Noble's collection. And things come around, old friends come back into your life, and Susan Nunez managed to acquire this wonderful doll from an auction, and we were kind of surprised to see this old friend come around again. Her association with John Darcy Noble, I think, is quite fascinating, and those of you that follow his work probably have read his article about Madame. That is what he named her. And when John acquired her, she was naked as a jailbird. But he was very resourceful, and he happened to have a friend that was a famous costume designer. So before I get into that, I should talk about Madame herself as a doll, which I would say that she is a continental wooden, meaning she could be made in Spain, she could be made in Italy, exactly where is unknown, and most likely the manufacturer was someone who made religious figures, because there's a lot of similarities between her and a religious figure. But I'm going to give you a little secret. How you would differentiate a religious figure from a doll is normally there'd be a hole in the head right in the back for a halo or to hold a crown, and Madame doesn't have any of that. So I'm sure that she was made to be a plaything, a doll, and perhaps she's actually even a Pandora, which was a form of a fashion doll to share the latest fashions that were happening in the various courts. So the thing that is so remarkable about Madame is her costume. I don't know that all of you know that John Noble and his partner were involved in the Catholic Church, and they were collecting things at a time when you could buy 18th century vestments and 18th century fabrics for next to nothing. So John had a nice collection of items. So he had the collection of items, and then he had the friendship with a gentleman by the name of David Walker, who was a very famous, accomplished costume designers for opera, ballet, cinema, etc. So John sent off his findings, his fabrics, and David Walker came up with this design. Now, the interesting thing about this is when we originally sold Madame long ago, we held back the costume design because we knew that the collector who bought it would have not honored it, gotten rid of it. It could have been just thrown out. So we held it back. And what was fun, when Susan and Lou bought Madame, we were able to reconnect the two things together. So here you can see all of his designs, from the stays, which are that corset-like bit here. So they're all there. And this is constructed, I think, some of the best construction of a costume that I've ever seen. And of course, it doesn't help, helps the subject matter that we have all of this incredible 18th century needlework. Not only is it with silk threads, it also has all of this metal work, metal lace, and I think our lace people in our group know this, but the oldest form of lace was actually metal lace. So we've got the gold lace at the hem, and trimming it, we've got the silver and gold. And then we have this superb decorative apron. This wasn't for cleaning the house. This was just to give it a little charm and an extra pizzazz. And you can see the stomacher. This is a beautiful design, which, by the way, I'm going to copy for Belinda. And the fit is spectacular. And I'm going to spin her around. And this is made beautifully with a bum pad in the back. And remember that shoulder seams in the 18th century are set back into the back. And that's why all of those ladies had excellent postures. So it's beautifully constructed. And I think that what I love about it is we have a costume that is designed by someone who is actually maybe almost more important than the doll itself, because rarely do dolls get to be in exhibits at places like the Victoria and Albert and the Metropolitan and whatnot, and people that did work like David Walker get to. So in a way, this is a very important historical item, and it also reminds us that we can think outside of the box. Although I love Georgian woodens and German continental woodens, there's a whole bunch of wonderful wooden dolls that are being ignored. And as the old saying goes in the 18th century, fine feathers make a fine bird. And the costume has enhanced Madame greatly. And now the two items are back together, and I think that from here on out, they'll always stay together. Bye-bye, doll friends. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.